Hi, my name is Dr. Felicia and I'm a licensed psychologist. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some ways that you can deal with spiritual abuse and other forms of psychological abuse, specifically by creating new rules. So I have a video on this channel called The Game is Rigged. Why you never win by speaking up about spiritual abuse. And again, this also applies to other types of abuse, especially psychological, emotional, so on. So in that video, I talked about why the game is rigged and why sometimes we think that we are going to get some outcome by speaking up, and it doesn't work that way because the game is rigged. And so to understand more about that, watch that video first before this one. But in this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about how to make and play by your own rules in these types of situations. In any type of abusive environment, you can't fight fair. And I also have another video about that would be helpful to watch. And that's because the abuser and the abusive systems create the rules, and they also change the rules at all times to benefit themselves. And so it can feel very helpless to be in a situation like that. And so here are a few ways that you can deal with that. The first thing you want to do is you want to recognize that the game is rigged and recognize what the rules are. And it doesn't have to be an exhaustive process. You can pick one rule. One rule that I feel like is, I'm going to use an example of one rule, but one rule that I think is really important that we can focus on for this video is that intentions matter more than outcome. And so you'll see people who are emotionally and psychologically abusive duck responsibility for what they're doing. They want to avoid responsibility at all costs. And one way they do that is by saying, well, I didn't mean to, or, just other things. They focus on their intentions rather than the outcome of what happened, and specifically how the outcome hurt you. And so by getting you to be on the defensive about saying that what they did was wrong, they take the spotlight away from themselves. They focus a lot on intentions, and I've done all this, and how can you say I'm this type of a person and whatnot. So recognize that rule, right? And in this one, it's intentions matter more. It's a bad rule, right? Because they're going to flip that rule on you and tell you that you have bad intentions all the time and whatnot. So anyway, you've recognized that rule. The second thing you want to do is you want to defy that rule. And when I say you want to defy that rule, one way you can do that is by just speaking up and saying, well, regardless of whatever your intention was, I was still really hurt by that. And so when you defy the rule, you're going to flip it and say, what, to me, I'm going to focus on the outcome. I'm not going to be distracted by the intentions. I'm not going to argue about the intentions. What I am going to argue about and what I'm going to stand up for or bring attention to is the actual outcome of what happened. And this is a very powerful tool that I found that people who have been people who are survivors of spiritual abuse, psychological abuse, all those other types of abuses are they're very empowered by this, because it can be a lot for us to try and figure out what someone's intentions are. And usually intentions aren't one thing, right? There are lots of things, right? And so someone can have good intentions and bad intentions. So you are focusing strictly on, this is the outcome and this is how I was affected by it, right? And this is what I am or I'm not going to tolerate in the future. And then the third thing you want to do is you want to rewrite the rule, right? You don't have to do all of these in this order. You can pick one. You can just pick to defy a rule. You can pick doing something else. But in this case, I want you to rewrite the rule. And so think about that. I'm not going to rewrite the rule for you guys. I'd like for you to rewrite that in the comment section or rewrite another rule, right? Think about the rule that intentions matter more than the outcome, right? Or intentions justify the outcome. How would you rewrite that rule as an abuse survivor, right? So I would love to hear from you in the comments. Again, I'm going to go over the three really quickly in terms of like playing by new rules or setting your own rules, right? The first thing is recognize what the rule is and recognize the intention of the rule too. And a lot of times in abusive environments is to just deflect responsibility from the abusive person or institution. The second thing is you want to pick a particular rule and defy that rule, break the rule, challenge the rule, whichever way you see fit. And then the third one is rewrite the rule. And so I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How have you dealt with the game being rigged by abusive institutions and abusive people? How have you made your own rules and played by them? I'd love to hear from you, especially because that information can help support others who have gone through the same thing. And so like the video, please share and subscribe and comment. That would really help out a lot. And then also you can go to my website, skillsetcounseling.com, to book a free consultation with me. And you can also click on the link in the description box. All right. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you have a wonderful day that's filled with peace. Bye-bye.